Do you trust yourself? Like, do you really trust yourself? Because that's the key. We all have fear. We all have doubts. But if we trust ourselves, like truly trust ourselves, our gut, we can overcome anything. I think people don't realize that. We all win. We all lose. You know how many times I've failed in my life? 1,000,000. You know how many times I've won? 1,000,000. So I have to trust myself when I fail that I'm going to pick myself back up. And that when I win, I'm going to win gracefully. You know why? I could fail tomorrow. When I was 18 years old, I was a freshman in college, and I got pregnant. The guy I was dating at the time decided he wasn't ready to be a dad. Men have that privilege. I, however, was already a mother. I was scared. I was lonely. But I did it. I dropped out of college. I went to work, and I owned it. I used that power and that fear, and I attacked that challenge to create who I am today. Sometimes we don't realize why things happen in our life until I look back and I go, wow, that made me. That made me powerful. That choice that I made that day. And at 22, I worked in an automobile industry. And at 22, I was promoted to management in a male-dominated field. At 24, I married the most awesome guy, who, by the way, we're still married to this day. We have 2 other children. I'm pretty sure he married me specifically because I was a single mom. He loved it and respected it, and he's the greatest guy. And I got him despite what everyone thought would happen. Because I didn't look at myself as a negative. I was proud of myself. So fast forward to 3 years ago. And I've had a great career. I have to say, I've been very fortunate. I've had a great career. I've always worked. I've been fairly successful. I have a lot of drive and a lot of passion. I have all those things. Not that I don't have fear, I do. But I've always done things that are comfortable to me. Until about 3 years ago, I had a really big problem. Like a real problem. My youngest son is an athlete, and he stunk. Like, really bad, you guys, like really, really bad. And I was like, I don't understand, what is this? What is happening? He gets in the car, I'm driving carpool, the car is like filled with this disgusting odor. And it's raining, and I'm literally driving down the road, and I don't care, and the windows are open, and I'm like, oh my God, you guys, what is going on? So I probably spent an entire year fumigating his room, his clothes, dissecting what the problem was. I didn't understand why everything I bought never worked. Why does his stuff smell so bad? It says it works. It does not work. Smell this. So I literally spent an entire year doing that. I did all the research. I would wrap his lacrosse gloves in styrofoam and put them in the freezer overnight. I would put them in the UV rays. I would buy every defunker I could. Nothing ever worked. So I finally was like, I can't take it. I can't take it anymore. I'm at a lacrosse tournament, and a bunch of the moms were all talking. I said, Coach Tom, what do you do for the gear? Why does it smell so bad? He's like, Mrs. Woods, I'm sorry. It just stinks. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I played lacrosse my whole life. It just stinks. I'm like, that is not an answer. It just stinks is not an answer. Nothing works is not an answer. You mean to tell me there are incredibly intelligent people in this world? It is 2014 and nothing works? No. We get in the car and Sir stinks a lot. There he goes again. Driving home from the tournament, and I said to my husband, that's it. I can't take it anymore. I'm inventing something. Anybody said that before? Come on, we all have a million ideas, right? Who actually is stupid enough to do it? Me. Okay, so we're in the car. I'm like, I'm inventing something. And he's literally like, sure, honey. Right? Here I am. I did. So, thank you. I spent about a year researching, okay? I don't know what I'm doing. I had absolutely no business trying to invent something, understand something. I had no training whatsoever in prototyping, manufacturing, e-commerce, nothing. I have no clue what the heck I'm doing, but I'm just doing it, right? I'm just doing it. I'm just researching. I was obsessed. I was like, I have this idea. Why does it stink? Oh, bacteria. Oh, this is how you fix it. Oh, I think I can do this. So every step I took towards an answer, I felt more confident. And I started trusting that, hey, maybe I could actually do this. I did it. Within a year, I had a product for sale. Within 1 year of my idea, the exact June, a year later, I had gone through manufacturing, I had gone through prototypes, testing, and I had 1,000 units sitting in my kitchen for sale. And then I went, now what? Right? That's not it. Because the first step of your fear, isn't that so hard? That first step. Like when you jump into something, it's so hard, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, I got through that. That's amazing. I did it. Yes. But then guess what? It gets harder. Every step you take, it gets harder. Everything I've done has gotten harder. And every single time, I've had to trust that no matter what happened, I was going to be okay with it. I was going to trust myself if I lost, and I was going to trust myself if I won. So I start selling product, literally setting up vendor booths at lacrosse tournaments, hockey tournaments. I'm like, where are the stinky people? Bring me to them. They start selling. I open up a Facebook page. I open up Instagram, a Twitter. I don't even know how to tweet, and I'm tweeting. I don't care. Here, people, I can help your problems. People were loving it. They were sharing my Facebook. They were sharing my social media. Oh my gosh, mom, invent something, right? But still, I have no money, no advertising. What do? One of my friends texts me and she says, Krista, there is a Today Show contest. Mom inventors pitch their product. I'm like, what? Are you crazy? I am not doing that. Do you ever go hear speakers and go, that's awesome. They're amazing, but I could never do that. I do it my whole life. I've done it my entire life, and you all are now listening to me. I'm speaking, but my entire life I listen to speakers going, oh, but they're awesome. I'm not that awesome. But you are awesome. See, that's the thing. Just the way you are. I don't care if you go to college. I don't care if you get straight A's. I don't care if you are smart. It doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. I used to be so intimidated because I dropped out of college. I'd listen to someone and go, oh, I have a Harvard PhD. I have a this and this and this. And I'd be like, oh my God, you're smart people. Smart people, go away. Now people ask me, are you a biologist? I'm like, no. Right? That's how it works. I just am doing it. So guess what I do? I'm scared to death. I'm so afraid. And I enter a pitch contest live. I got to go live. But guess what I got to do? I submit a video. Well, I can do video, right? So we're silly behind the camera. That's what we do. We're kind of silly people. So I submit a video. I make it. 9 people go pitch live on the Today Show. What? I win. Rock on. Yeah. So that led me to QVC. I had to go then the next day to QVC to sell live on QVC. I sold out in 7.5 minutes. I was like, driving home from QVC, I'm retiring. Yes! That was amazing. I can't beat that, right? How do you beat that? So, when are you going on Shark Tank? I was like, what? Yeah, when are you going on Shark Tank? I'm like, no, I'm never doing that. I am never doing Shark Tank. I can't do Shark Tank. No, you should go on Shark Tank. A week later, hey, have you ever thought about going on Shark Tank? No, I am not going on Shark Tank. Anyone guess why you don't think I wanted to go on Shark Tank? Scared. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine? It's so big, right? Shark Tank is big. The Today Show was big for me, and I did it, and that was amazing, and that was it. I was done. I was exhausted, right? But Shark Tank? No way. That's crazy. But then guess what I realized? It was my fear. I made so many excuses. I can't tell you, I made up so many excuses to customers and friends on why I wouldn't go to Shark Tank. I found reasons to complain about Shark Tank. I found reasons to dislike Shark Tank. And I met people who went on Shark Tank who had bad stories so I could share their stories on why I didn't want to go on Shark Tank. But I was never finding the reason I should do it. Once I realized that, I had to do it. Because everything I had done the last 2 years, every single thing, I was scared. I was nervous. But I trusted that no matter what happened, I was going to be okay. So I did it. I went through the whole process. What a lot of people don't know is 50,000 people apply to Shark Tank. 50,000 every year. 130 get aired, 130 go to filming, and 80 get aired. Do you know the statistic to getting on Shark Tank and getting aired? It's more difficult than it is to get into Harvard. Yeah. That was like my payback, right? I didn't get to go to college, but I did something harder than getting into Harvard. That's the way I look at it. Okay? So you go through a 3-month process that is brutal, and every single week, they tell you, you may not make it to next week. Do this, but you may not make it to next week. For 3 months, and I couldn't tell a soul. It was brutal. And I was scared, and I was nervous, and week to week, I kept going. I kept going, and I have no clue what I'm doing. I'm just doing it. Don't wait. That's the thing. I didn't wait till I knew what I was doing. I just did it, right? Why do we wait? You know when you're a kid, that cool feeling you have when you're a kid, it's so freeing, and you just go do something, and you're not really worrying about the consequences? Why do we change? All of a sudden, we become mature adults, and we start worrying about what everybody else thinks. Just do it. Don't wait till you dot your I's and cross your T's. It has to happen now. If you have a fear, you have to go after it. And that's what I want you all to learn from my experience. Because when I went in that tank, now I worked my buns off for 3 months, I'll tell you. I prepared, I worked, I knew my stuff better than anyone. And when I walked in that tank, I was shaking. My hands were shaking, my knees were shaking, my armpits were sweating. But I did it. And I landed a deal with A-Rod and Lori Grenier. Thank you. And I left that tank, I left there, and I literally was like, is this real life? But you don't ever get those experiences if you don't shoot for them. If you've never said, is this really happening? It's because you haven't tried hard enough. You haven't trusted yourself to go for it. I want you all to experience what I've experienced. It has been the hardest, most difficult thing I have ever done. But it has been absolutely 1,000,000 times worth it. Thank you.